Greetings everybody, my name is NWHunt97 and welcome to another Destiny video. And today we are going to finish our Crota weapons on our series on wave weapons. Are they good? Are they bad? And can they be better? So let's go ahead and get started, and let's go ahead and finish up the Crota weapons, specifically finishing off the primary weapons. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. First off, we're going to start it with my favorite primary here, Abyss Defiant. We will not go quietly. Really good description right there. So, like all weapons from the Courtesan raid, you get Hive Disruptor, increased damage to Hive Majors, overall good perk. And back in year 1, this weapon has solar damage, so this was excellent against Hive Wizards, which I'll show you the reason why in a second. So with the first perk tree, you have Quick Draw IS, Red Dot ORS, and Red Dot OAS. Out of all of these, Red Dot OAS is the best because one, you get enhanced target acquisition with this sights, and two, you get the best stability out of all of these, which is overall really good for auto rifles, especially with this type of auto rifle. You actually get 3 perk trees instead of 2 with most weapons with Abyss Defiant. So the first perk on this perk tree is Hip Fire. This weapon grants bonus accuracy while firing from the hip. Then you have Focus Fire. When zoomed, this weapon fires slower but causes additional damage. This reminds me of the options that Soros Regime Year 2 have, and that still does. It's the same. I believe it is a lower archetype of Soros Regime than it is. So, if you want to focus on damage, specifically PvE, you want to use Focus Fire. And if you want to use it for PvP, you probably want to use Hip Fire. It really depends on whether you like Focus Fire or Hip Fire with PvP. But with PvE, you definitely want to use Focus Fire because it definitely gives you a lot more damage. Okay, for the third skill tree, you have Single Point Sling. This weapon switches faster and move quicker while aiming. It's okay. Then you have Perfect Balance. This weapon has extremely low recoil. And you have Lightweight. When held, this weapon grants +2 character agility. Out of all these, Perfect Balance is the best because you give more stability, which auto rifles need. So these 2 perks, really good for the auto rifle. And then last but not least, you have Leechbane. Projectiles have a chance to disorient Hive Wizards. If you hate Hive Wizards and they think they shoot too much like lightning balls at you, then Leechbane is your ally, and then it makes it able to have like a blinding effect, very similar to Defender Titans. So yeah, is it good? Is it bad? And can it be better? Overall, I would give this a 3.7. This is overall a good auto rifle. Not only inside Courtesan, but also outside Courtesan. It does good damage with Focus Fire. It's really stable, and is even good for PvP if you really want to use this weapon. Also, for the utility of this weapon, it's really good against Hive Wizards, especially uh, Yellow Barred Wizards, Major Wizards, because it has Hive Disruptor, as you can see right here, and Leechbane, which basically meshes very well together against Wizards. Now, are these perks very specifically against Wizards? Yes, they are. Is that a bad thing? I would say it is a bad thing, considering how much I slammed on the Song of Ur-Yut. But with this weapon here, it's actually better than the Song of Ur-Yut because it actually has more utility besides those two perks that specifically focuses on Hive Wizards. One, the stability is really good on this weapon, and two, you could choose between Focus Fire and Hip Fire, which people seem to like with auto rifles. Overall, I do love Focus Fire on an auto rifle because it's more stable and it gives you off more damage and all. So yeah, 3.7 and making it better. Honestly, I would not mess with this weapon at all. Probably the only exception is switching Hip Fire with like crowd control maybe. Just for the fast firing rate, yeah, you can have more damage while using this weapon. So maybe crowd control, maybe I don't know, spray and play. That might work out for auto rifle even more, because if you're using hip fire, you want to use as much bullets as possible. So you probably want to switch spray and play with hip fire right here. So yeah, that's probably the only change I will have with this weapon, and if it had it, then it'll be an excellent weapon. Okay, next weapon we're doing the Word of Crota. This is actually a very interesting weapon right here. First off, you have Hive Disruptor. Like of course with most weapons from Crota's End, it will have Hive Disruptor. The first perk tree, you have Steady Hand IS, Fast Draw IS, and Sure Shot IS. A favorite for most PvP players. So when you're looking for a hand cannon, you specifically want either Sure Shot or True Sight with hand cannons because it gives you the most target acquisition. And since this weapon has Sure Shot, this is a really good sight for the weapon. Honestly, I would choose True Sight because it has more stability, but for those of you who don't care about stability, the Sure Shot's still good as well. Okay, so for the first perk, the main perk here is Zen Moment. Um, Causing damage with this weapon increases stability. Um, with this particular archetype, it's actually a faster firing rate than a famous weapon like Fatebringer, and lower impact than Fatebringer. The high impact, low firing rate archetype. Um, this has a fast firing rate, right? So if you're hitting all of your bullets onto the target really fast, then your weapon's gonna get extremely stable. Um, this weapon even has high stability for a hand cannon. So you're having stability upon stability with Zen moments. Fast firing very fast with this weapon. Does this reward you? Yes, it does in PvE specifically, and maybe PvP. Um, and I'm going to explain this a little bit more in a little bit later with the next perk. Okay, so for the second tree, you have Speed Reload, Hammer Forged, and Explosive Rounds. Out of all of these, I'll probably choose Hammer Forged. Really, I would love to have like rangefinder on this because it'll make, or not even rangefinder, like what is it called, rifle barrel or reinforced barrel. Give more range of this weapon. Probably reinforced barrel, the one that like gives you more range or less stability because this gun has so much stability already that and you have Zen Moment that you probably don't even need the extra stability. So yeah, explosive rounds is also a fan favorite for this type of weapon, but I'm going to tell you a reason why you shouldn't use this after I explain the next perk. Okay, the last perk is Phantom Gift. Rapidly landing 3 precision hits returns 1 round to the magazine. This was basically the very first time we saw a weapon that had triple tap. You're probably familiar with triple tap. It's one of the best perks for PvP or with PvE for a sniper, and overall it's actually good for a hand cannon as well, and a scout rifle too. So this is basically triple tap, and this is where Bungie decided that instead of having it on one gun, we'll have it on all sorts of guns. Instead of calling it Phantom Gift, calling it triple tap. Now there's good things and bad things out of all of this, but really we're gonna focus on the bad thing. The bad thing is that um, makes it so that all sorts of weapons could have this perk, and that means that since all sorts of weapons have this perk, this doesn't make this gun is not original. It's not special. So it is a raid weapon, so it should be special, and yeah, that's how it should be. So I'm going to say that this gun is revolved around precision damage with having more stability, making it easier for you to hit those precision shots. And plus you have Hammer Forge, which used to be good on hand cannons, um, which gives you extra range, which gives you more aim assist, which gives you more headshot capability with this weapon. So Zen Moment and Phantom Gift and high stability works very well with this hand cannon. The reason why I do not like using explosive rounds with this very specific weapon is because it actually makes it so it's kind of wonky with Phantom Gift. You know, explosive rounds basically makes it so that you're dealing damage on two separate occasions. One is with the impact, and one is with the explosion. So overall, you are doing more damage with this weapon, but you're not going. This is basically gonna make it so that the weapon's going to react as if that you shoot two bullets at once, basically, or you shoot them and like you hit them twice. So once that happens, Phantom Gift doesn't really work because you must land three precision shots, and since that explosive round is activating, you're not getting that precision hit, which counts. So if you want to take advantage of Phantom Gift, do not use explosive rounds. If you want to take advantage of explosive rounds but hate Phantom Gift, go on ahead, use explosive rounds. But if you had explosive rounds and Phantom Gift going along with each other, then that would be an excellent, excellent combination. So is it good? Is this weapon good? Is this weapon bad? And can it be better? Honestly, I would think this is probably, I would say it's one of the worst primaries in Crota, honestly. This is honestly, overall, it is a good weapon, most definitely with its stability and all that. But this is just an archetype that no one's not really a big fan of because it doesn't do as much damage as like Fatebringer or other famous weapons like the AS Luna. And yeah, honestly, there'll be a lot of stuff I would change with this. One, just because I'm a cranky pants, I want to have true sight on this weapon instead of sure shot because I want that stability on this weapon. Two, I would change the archetype into a Fatebringer archetype. Three, I would have like Hammer Forged or something on this weapon. Hammer Forged or Reinforced Barrel on this weapon. And three, I would basically change Phantom Gift instead of having three precision hits. Um, Instead of having like three precision hits, you'll probably want to have like maybe I don't know, maybe have like every time you hit three precision hits, you would get like three bullets back. This will honestly, if you were to have that, it'll make this weapon a lot better. And even if it had two hits, it'll still be really good. Then again, you'll probably take away like the significance with Chaos Dogma, which is from the Wrath of the Machine, which we'll talk about later. Either like make improve Phantom Gift or make Phantom Gift do something completely different. Like I don't know, every um every third shot, like the next shot will do bonus damage or something like that. It'll probably make it so that you do bonus damage if you hit that precision, that it'll stay in the magazine and all that, which will be pretty cool. And it kind of has that I don't know, that first curse-esque type of feel with the weapon, with the exception of the archetype. So yeah, I would probably give this a 2.9, 2.8 really, just because of how this weapon works. So yeah, honestly, I am not a big fan of this weapon. Some people like it though, so it's their choice. The Fang of Urgut. This is the scout rifle for the courtesan. Every courtesan weapon has Hive Disruptor. You get the deal. And the first tree, you have Red Dot ORS, True Sight IS, and Focus Lens FLA5. About all these, True Sight is the best because the sight reminds me a lot of the Bad Juju, and I love the Bad Juju sights, so I'm using True Sight. Okay, for the second tree, we like to Abyss Defiant. There's three perk trees. We have Spray and Play. Increases the reload speed when this weapon mag is empty. And then we have Target Mark. This is a very special perk that only the Fang of Uryu can have. Enemies hit by this weapon are briefly highlighted. So what that means that once you hit an enemy, there's gonna be like this green mark on them, and it's gonna be like a glowing tower, a green hive-esque tower on the hive. So if they're on cover, then yeah, you can see them while they're up cover, like with like like a 10-foot wall, and you can see on top of them. Um, it's okay. Like it doesn't do anything special really. It would probably make it. This perk would be a lot better if you could actually see through walls with this perk, but unfortunately it doesn't. So, you know, target mark. It's a cool perk. Okay, so for the third skill tree, we have high caliber rounds, perfect balance, and field scout. And you guys know how much I loved year one field scout, and I'll talk to you about that in a little bit and what made this weapon right here. Overall, with year 3, high caliber rounds is an overall good perk for both PvE and PvP. But if you want extra stability with this scout rifle, you probably want to use perfect balance because it's overall a good perk. Maybe you want to do red dot if you want even more stability. So, I just love True Sight, and perfect balance is good on a scout rifle. So, last but not least, you have Third Eye. Overall, a good perk for any weapon with a primary. Radar stays active while aiming down the weapon's sights. So yeah, if you aim down the weapon's sights, you'll still see your radar, and your radar is pretty important for both PvE and PvP. This is a utility, and it's definitely worth using. So, is this weapon good? Is it bad? And can it be better? I'm gonna say right now that it's actually okay. It used to be a lot better, um, with one reason only. Field Scout. Back in year 1, if you were to have Field Scout, the magazine would be 27. Yes, I said that, and you heard me right. 27. This had one of the biggest magazines for uh, year 1. It was one of the best weapons in the game, specifically because of the 27 ammo count. You could never reload ever again. And if you need reload, you had spray and play, which was really good. And you could just automatically reload it, and then you'll be able to keep shooting. Overall, it was good with DPS. It was good with um, PvE. It was good at PvP, and it was just good, honestly. Now, since Bungie once actually got rid of Field Scout's awesome perk, now we only have a magazine of 15, which is a really huge bummer. I absolutely loved this weapon using Field Scout, and it was probably one of my most favorite weapons back at year 1. Up there with the Found Verdict and all that. So I use the Found Verdict, the Fang of Uryu, and Gjallarhorn and all that. It was just awesome. Yeah, this weapon used to be a lot better, and look how it felt with its glory. It's still a good weapon. You'll probably want to use spray and play throughout the entire with using this gun entirely because of its short magazine size, and you probably want to use high caliber or perfect balance because its stability is a little bit low. So yeah, can it be better? Yes, it can. You probably have more stability on this weapon. It's a little low for me, and plus bring back Field Scout. This is the most awesome perk that what made this weapon. So I want Field Scout back on the Fang of Uryu because this is what made the gun. I'm gonna give this a 3.5, and if it had Field Scout, it'll definitely be a 4.5 at the least. So maybe I'll put a 3.5 on this right now. So yeah, Fang of Uryu has definitely fallen in my taste. Oversoul Edict, the last primary for Courtesan. This is the pulse rifle. And, well, high disruptor on all weapons from Courtesan. Yada yada yada. Okay, so with the first perk tree, you have red dot OES, red dot OAS, and red dot ORES. Probably out of all of these, I would choose red dot OAS because it gives you the most stability and target acquisition. It really depends on what's your taste, but I prefer to have, red dot OAS for most of my primaries, pulse rifles. So for the first perk, it's actually a pretty fun one. You get full auto on a pulse rifle, which is pretty good. This weapon can be fired in full auto mode. So if you're holding, the right bumper for Xbox users or L or R2 for PlayStation users, then if you hold it down, it'll keep firing until you let it go. You can still shoot it in bursts, but you just need to like tap it. It's actually a really good perk. It makes its DPS faster, and since it's rate of fire and impact and rate of fire extremely high, impact extremely low, this makes it this full auto makes this weapon. It just meshes really well with this weapon, especially back in year one where like most pulse rifles weren't like this. Okay, so with the second tree, you have Snapshot, Field Scout, again, one of my most favorite perks of all time. And you have Fitted Stock. Surprisingly, you didn't need Field Scout on this weapon. I forgot how much ammo was on this. I don't even remember. If you guys know, let me know by the comment section below if you could recall. But you really didn't need this. But Field Scout was still fun to use. I think the ammo count was like 36, 39. I don't know, maybe 39 or 42 maybe. I think it was 42. It was one. It was something like that. But you probably want to use fitted stock for this weapon because you want to have as much stability as possible. So yeah, you want to use that. And then here's the last perk, Dark Breaker. Projectiles will overpenetrate through hive walls of darkness. This is exactly the perk that is used in the Song of Ur-Yut. And actually, this weapon is a lot better against Hive Knights than the Song of Uryu. Back at year one, it was arc damage, and the exotic weapon is arc damage. It had high disruptor, which was good against knights. It had full auto, so you could do a lot of DPS as possible. And you have Dark Breaker, which was really good. Very specifically for one reason. If you were to see a Hive Knight wall activate and you want to switch to your Song of Uryu, then the Hive wall would would just be gone after that. With Oversoul Edict, once you see a Hive wall, you're gonna have Oversoul Edict already on your hands, so you gotta go quickly aim at the wall, and you're gonna go ahead and shoot the Hive wall. And this weapon is basically a lot better against Hive Knights. This is basically what Song of Uryu should have been. It was overall good. Not only that it was good in PvE, but it was also good, really, really good on PvP. I actually probably saw more gameplay of this on PvP than PvE. This is overall a good weapon back in year one. It did its work, and overall it's just a solid weapon. Now, could it have improvements? Yes, and I'll tell you in a little bit. So, is it good, and is it bad, and can it be better? Yes, it is good. I also get a solid 3.6. Yeah, that is my grade for it. And can it be better? Yes, you're probably the only thing I would change is having either fitted stock or, you know, instead of just having a fitted stock, I would use brace frame because we want that stability, guys, and that's probably the best option. And yeah, that's probably the only thing I would change for this weapon right here. This is just a solid weapon, so brace frame right here. Yeah, 3.7 for the scout rifle, and that is going to be the end of the video, and that is going to be the end of the Crota weapon raid weapons. That is it for Crota. We're literally halfway through all of the raid weapons, and we literally have like we basically have a month until we have Destiny 2 coming out. So next week I'm going to have basically I'm going to have two videos next week with the King's Fall raid. Really I'm probably going to make like one long video maybe and make it to a two-part series, or even I'll probably just make two videos and I'll just release them both at the same time. And we'll have heavy weapons and special weapons next week. I'm going to try to make both of them as fast as possible, and then it'll be available next Sunday like usual. So from now on, we're going to do two videos with the Raid Weapon series, and we're going to have that pretty soon. So next week, suspect heavy weapons from the King's Fall and special weapons from the King's Fall. And I think that'll be a pretty exciting raid weapons series right there. And honestly, some of the weapons are pretty good. with those categories. Well, so alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you go ahead to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to check out my Twitter. I do a lot of retweets. I find some pretty funny stuff in there. And plus, you can be constantly updated on what I'm doing with my channel, like videos coming out, whether I put some stuff in my playlist and playlists or not. So just check it out, and you can keep constantly updated with the Twitter. And in case like I'm not making like a video this week or something like that, then you will know from Twitter. And it's just good to have like constant communication between a YouTuber and like their viewers and all that. So also you could go ahead and check out my Facebook fan page. It's called NW Hunt 97 Gaming Community. I am going to have a special exclusive video coming out about the same time as this video is out on YouTube. So if this video is on YouTube as you're watching this, then the video that I'm talking about, the exclusive video on Facebook, it's definitely available right now. So go ahead and check that out. I'm going to link both these two things in the link of the description. So you go ahead and check those two things out. And thank you guys. God bless. Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share this video like I told you. Thank you guys. God bless. Goodbye. And I'll see you next week on Friday maybe. Bye bye.